folks, how you doing? So time for a shop tour. I love it. It's people that have been keeping around on Instagram, you already know I got the new shop for the backyard instead of the garage to, clean up the house, clean up the garage, being able to use the garage as a storage, not really for the car, but storage for all the stuff that are, supposed to be nice and clean in the house. And got this 11 by 36. It's a prefab, storage shed that I finished everything inside, made the shop little, we're not growers, but we have a little garden there on the side. Insulated, closed off, did all the electric, AC in there, 12,000 unit, 12,000 BTU. We'll see how it keeps up in the summer. We only had few nice warm days. They were like higher 80s, and it cooled it to the fridge. It was like a refrigerator here. So I think it might work out fine even in the summer, in the worst summer. It should keep up. Put the air compressor here, extra tank, meals. Build a big bench that I can actually take the front legs off if I want to, just so I can, free up the linoleum. All the drills, pretty much the same I had in my old shop in the garage, except I got this. So I got one, a couple months ago, and it's actually half decent. Out of all I have only cheap drills, and the vents are probably the best ones of them. They are the cheapest, I think. They're like 70, 80 bucks on Amazon, and they're decent. They're weirdly loud compared to other ones. I think it feels like kind of stiff on this, but the whatever these things are called collets, they're pretty true. There's not much vibration and stuff, so it's actually a pretty decent drill. Same setup with the micro drill presses for the little tiny carbide drill bits, routers, same setup, bandsaw. I finally, after a couple of years, I killed the original. Remember the old school looking Harbor Freight one? I finally killed it. I still have the other one that's working, but it's in the different tool, whatever tool bag or something, in the garage between other tools. So I got the new Harbor Freight Bauer bandsaw. So far it works good. I gotta say, I think the old ones kept up better. I think they held better because they were, I don't know if it's these things, that the rollers that keep everything in place. I think it was a little more tight, so. But it's working fine. Buffers, I rarely use it, but buffers, blasting cabinet, there's a new thing I have, couple months now. I think it's 2 months I got it. Really like this one. It's a little bit more expensive than the previous one because the previous one's super cheap. I had the plastic Cyclone that was like 150 bucks, I want to say, or 100. This one ran, I think, around 4 altogether. But it's so nice. It's smaller, but for the knife making, that's all I really need, and has a pedal operated, which is awesome. It's a really nice setup. Grinders, I set them up this way. So the first thing to mention, I have a big exhaust fan that I got off Amazon that has incredible, not suction, but the air movement. It moves almost like 4,000 cubic feet of air per minute, which is pretty insane. Let me turn it on so you guys see. Put the switch here. This thing is so powerful. It's so powerful that if you don't have the doors open and no windows open, there is no air coming in from somewhere else. So you actually have to press really hard on the door to open. And it also has so much suction that we noticed yesterday. When everything is closed, it starts obviously tries to pull air inside from all the little gaps everywhere you have. It starts lifting the floor up like a hovercraft, which is funny. But because it's so powerful, it gets everything out here. I don't have much dust floating around. It's most of the time when I'm grinding, it's water vapor, water mist, in the air, and it sucks everything out. Also, sandblaster, that's the only dust you have here. Every little crevice, it tries to get the dust out, and you can just see it being sucked out. So it's really glad that I got it. I wasn't planning on it, but when I was doing some research and looking for some things for the shop, I randomly came across it. I'm like, this might be a good idea to do this, and I'm really glad I did it. put a water container for my water cooling up here. The top one is empty, that's just the barrier. It kind of helps, as you see, when this grinder is, horizontally, instead of shooting all the stuff and sticking it to my new grinder, it does it to this. So it's more like just a physical barrier. The bottom one has the water, and now I finally have like dedicated 2 water cooling systems. You know, one for here, one for there. I don't have to do no more swapping. It just stays there. Only swapping I have to do is if I'm using like a small arm attachment for this, I have to take this off because it's magnet holds it on the flat bottom. And as you see, I use like the cheapest plastic, like roofing panels from Home Depot to just create sloped barrier all around, and it kind of catches everything. All I have to do is grab a water hose to wash off the old titanium and steel, so it doesn't catch spark or something. I rarely get the spark, but because I rarely get the spark, if I do, and if I would leave it like this, it can get me by surprise. Funnels. So what I did, everything is kind of sloped, and I drilled holes there through the table, and it goes down to the catching containers, just to catch the water down there and all the stuff. Also the funnels go just there. When I'm grinding, it shoots down, but it's everywhere. I mean, water grinding is messy, so it's messy, and for that I doubled up the linoleum here. The main linoleum is a one piece that goes all the way around, and you see it as almost like a foot tall mantle, what do you call it, mantinels, sides that go up. So it's essentially like a little top. So no water should go, unless I puncture it, no water should go through it. It's gonna, stay here and evaporate. So I'm trying to keep the structure itself water free as much as possible. These are the old tables. I just didn't want to throw them out, and I built most of the tables myself here. Also, if you notice these tables, they're just very simple construction and no front legs. Because it's in the bag, I was able to get, structure it in a way that even with all the weight there, it doesn't need it, because it goes wall to wall with the support beams on the sides. And I use the big tall, 10 by 2, I think, 2 by 10 or 2 by 12. So really rigid. Again, purpose of it, so I don't have nothing coming down the floor, and I can replace the linoleum and put things under without any legs interfering with it. Tumbler here, I still have to fix my older tumbler, and as you see, I use some cut-offs linoleum on the places. It might still happen, but I think I'm good for now. When I notice that something is splashing somewhere where I didn't anticipate, just stapled cut-offs linoleum there, just to help not having stuff splashing on that wood, on the OSB boards. Vices, anvil for stamping logos, arbor press, anodizing setup, cleaning, ferric chloride, WD-40 for cleaning, carbonizer, all set up here. A lot of storage, little shelves everywhere to hold the little things. LED lighting. I really like how this place is lit up. It's actually my garage was pretty decent because I had LED lightings there, but I have like dedicating lighting here for the drills that is really close and really bright. I have dedicated 2 lights for the grinders, and I have much more light than I had on the previous setup. So pretty happy. What else? The little assembly table to final assembly is here, organizing here, and I even put the little sink with just the well water, cold well water, but it's still nice to be able to wash hands or wash parts, as in the little cheap plastic sink. Only downside is because the air compressor and tumbler is here, when it's working, it's loud. It's a structure that's set up on the big cinder blocks, so no matter how much I try, have it on the big foams, that having with the wheel and the foam, it still resonates throughout the thing. So it's a little loud, but I mean, it's a shop, so that's kind of like almost every shop is somewhat loud, but I love it. It makes me really happy to be able to work in setup like this now, because it's my garage was a shop, and the garage storage space, and you know, everything. So it was getting really crowded, really messy. This is much easier to keep clean, and you know, it is more pleasure to work here, even though is it a work when you do what you love. So I love it. Guys, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a while since I made a video, and I'll try, but I told you it sucks. This video will probably be uploading for like 4 hours, just because how the connection here sucks. And I cannot do it over the cell phone, because cell phone has much better connection and much better speeds than the, you know, Wi-Fi or, you know, house connection. But you know what you're gonna do. You trade up things, and I'm glad we traded up because we love it here. Guys, thank you, take care, stay safe, and remember, don't cut yourself.